Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Elconin. Welcome to Friday's edition of Pre-Market Info.
Well, it was a lot of fun there yesterday with the Nasdaq outage for 3 hours. So if you're trading Nasdaq stocks, I guess it was an interesting day from the media perspective. It was kind of a boring day from a trading perspective. But what should really be getting the highlights? So we see it, everybody's covering the Nasdaq outage. It's the top of the news all day. What should really be getting the top of the news is that ExxonMobil closed up on the day, Joel. It actually closed positive. That's only the second time it's closed positive in the last 22 days. So there you go. The streak is broken. ExxonMobil looking good now all of a sudden.
Yeah. I got a little stupid in that in the weekly options and that going back to Wednesday on the close. I started looking at those 87.50 weeklies.
Yeah,
I bought them, and then the market just fell out of bed. That's when we had that 20-some point sell-off,
yeah.
and I was a moron. I put more on and more on and more on, and took them home. And then thank God it held. Wednesday's low off the hop, but I'm really looking at this 87.35 to 42 level. That's a double top there. I think if it busts through there, you could get a nice run, maybe get up and test 88. But boy, it was been just an incredible streak here. And the other thing about this is you're getting, four bottoms here within 20, 30 cents. So at least you have a reference point here if you're trying to pick a bottom in that issue.
Yeah, I think it's due. I mean, it's been such a streak. I wouldn't surprise me if we do see a follow through day here today where we get up and we could possibly test that 88 level. So if you still got a few of those 87.5 calls, maybe those weeklies, you got one day with it and maybe they can get in the money there for you, Joel. Let's move to the overall market here. Obviously, we are trading flat here, 1655 and a quarter. Overnight range about 8 points, 1658 on the high, 1650.50 on the low. What's your take here today on this day that we're obviously working here this morning, which is a good thing? So Nasdaq seems to be up and running, and everything seems to be okay.
I tell you, Dennis, it's the old 4 out of 5 highs trick here between 1656.75 and 1657.75. That was a high that we hit yesterday. 4 of the last 5 highs are major resistance, only $2 away from here. Looking at that, if we can bust through there, Dennis, I don't have any resistance up till 1700.
Yeah, I'd say
Might
1680,
be a
but
little
I'm going to be
fishy.
on the same side as you on this one. I'm bullish here for today. I don't know why. I'm just feeling the bullish
Uh
train
oh.
here. I know, so I would probably turn around and die the market, but when we're both bullish, it can't be good news. But I think if we get above, yes, what was yesterday's high there, Joel? Just on the tick, so we know.
Yesterday's high was
An
57.75.
overnight high
But
is
if you
58. So that's my bogey. I want to get over that number, that 58, and then I think we could open up. I think we could see a quick, I think you could see the market start to run here. We're on Friday, and I honestly think we caught a few people leaning short there yesterday. Obviously, when we took out the lows early on in the morning session, well, actually before the market opened, I
Yeah,
think we might have caught a few people short, and then we showed strength all day, closed fairly strong despite the Nasdaq outage. So I think a lot of people could be caught a little short here, and if this thing starts to break out through 1658, 1659, they might be scrambling to cover.
kind of a yo-yo market this week. With the Fed minutes and everything, and
Yeah,
now
well,
we're
yo-yo days there. Yeah, with the Fed, that was a crazy day with the Fed minutes because we were trading up and then we went all the way down, took out the low, then we came all the way back up, took out the high. Then overnight we took out the low. Now we've come back out and we're trading back on the high. So you're exactly right. It's been a yo-yo market since the Fed minutes. So we'll have to see here if we can take out those highs, though. I kind of like it, and we are showing a little bit of strength here in the pre-market. When I came in this morning, we were down 2 points. We're up 2 points now. So in the last hour and a half, we're starting to strengthen here as well. Let's move on to some of these earnings stocks here. We've got obviously the Gap reported earnings here last night. GPS stock is trading up slightly at 42.10. Last night after the bell, it ticked up to 43 and a half. Somebody got a little bit excited. I was actually trying to sell after hours. They're a little bit higher than that. I was sitting up on the higher 43s. I was hoping it almost got me, but it didn't. And then it turned around and just sold off. So the earnings were pretty good. They raised the dividend from the quarterly dividend up to 20 cents from 15 cents. So overall, not bad, but I don't know if I'm getting that excited about this report.
Okay. Let's take a look at the pre-market activity here. You did get a pop up to 43. Getting no sound here, Dennis. Hold on. Let me do a sound check here.
Yeah, you're quiet on my end here too, Joel. Looks like technical difficulties are still having.
Yeah, technical difficulty Fridays are back.
Technical difficulty Thursday was yesterday, and Friday here too. I mean, you sound okay, but you're quiet on my end, so.
All right, I'll start screaming. We hit 43 and change in the pre-market here. We got above 43, 43.52. So that was quite a ride here. But I was looking at this in the dailies, and we did talk about this yesterday. I don't know if we talked about it on the show before the market opened. You did have a triple bottom right at the 42.40 area. They took that out and sold off pretty good and came back. So I'm going to look at that as resistance. If we get back up there, we're 50 cents away from here. Looking at support here, if this thing continues to decline, you had a low yesterday
41.20
at 41.20. So those are my bogeys, 41.20 and 42.50.
Aeropostale also reported earnings, symbol ARO. It's a surprise to no one. They disappoint. I mean, AEO disappointing, ARO its brother. 34 cents they lost, supposed to only lose 16 cents. Light on the revenue, 454 million versus estimates of 461 million. They see a further loss in Q3, so nothing good from Aeropostale, getting downgraded by Bank of America, downgraded by Topeka Capital. So here we are, Aeropostale trading down at 9.52 right now after closing at 10.98. So it's got a single-digit ticker on it. It's been a while since Aeropostale has been this low.
Okay, 9.29 is what we hit in the pre-market. That's your pre-market low. You got to bounce after that up to the 9.60 area. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Dennis, if you can maybe adjust your volume up now a little bit. I can't. I'm getting some problems here on your volume. So
okay.
See if you can bump that up a little bit.
Yeah, there's not much I can do on my end here, so we'll just try to speak a little louder and go with it. Not sure why we're having the technical difficulties we were the last 2 days. We do apologize for those, but we'll try to grind the show on here for the people who can hear us. We had a low back. I'm just trying to look back on this Aeropostale, going back to the weeklies there, Joel, and I'm going back into 2011. And back in 2011, in the week of, and I'm trying to grab it. Actually, that's not far enough. It's 9:55. I got to go back to the monthlies. So I'm going out to 2011 and going into the month of September to find a low of $9.16. So it's been a long time since we've been this low on Aeropostale. We've bounced in the pre-market here, so we'll have to see if that 9.16 level does get indeed tested here today. It got tested a bit in the pre-market. What was the pre-market low? 9.27 there, Joel Aero?
Yeah, 9.29 was low in the pre-market, and then I looked at the November low of 2008. That was a monthly low. I saw at 9.41. And so that will be some levels to keep an eye on.
Also reporting earnings there today, Ann Taylor reported ANN stock is trading up pretty good. I was looking at it, leaning and itching to short this thing at 34.5, and I didn't in the pre-market. I wanted it. I got greedy, and I thought I was going to trade a little bit higher than that. But 76 versus 76, so they came in line on the earnings, 638.2 million versus 639.4 million, a little light on the revenue. So the report's not great. They did announce a $250 million stock buyback, so that helped to lift the stock here, and it did trade up as much as 34.90, just a couple hundred shares up there, but was trading very actively at 34.5. Has now given back some of those gains, is only up $1, trading just ticked to 33.55, only up 90 cents now.
Okay, let's take a look. That 34.90 area that it hit in the pre-market, that's a good level to look at if we get back up there again. Multiple highs right around the 34.75 to 34.90 area. So, keep an eye on that. If we get back up there, should be excellent resistance. Coming back on the downside here, still trading up 88 cents on the day. Let's look at the daily chart. Yesterday's high and close right at the 32.63 to 69 area. That'll be support. That's another 70 cents away from here on the downside.
Pandora reported earnings there last night. Pandora Media, symbol P. Stock disappointed the street. They lost 4 cents, supposed to make 2 cents. Revenue beat 157.4 million versus 156.2 million. But their full year, they're looking at making nothing to a nickel. They were supposed to make at least 8 cents. They're getting downgraded by Raymond James, downgraded by Stifel Nicholas. So you got Pandora Media trading down $1.50 here this morning. It was worse after hours. Wow, that's news algo or something. 18.50 that thing traded down to. That's a little bit of an overshoot if I've ever seen it. But we are trading and trying to hold the 20 handle here now. So that's my bogey is $20. Needs to hold that. Starts to break down from there, and it could get a little bit uglier.
Right, you've taken out the $20 level in the pre-market. A level under that was 1970. That was the low that you had on August 15th. So under the $20 level, we can keep an eye on that. Coming back on the upside in order to get into yesterday's range, it needs to rally a buck. 21.22 was yesterday's low. Previous low 21.07. So any kind of a rally back near the 2080, 2090 level, I expect to be some pretty good sellers.
One more retailer reporting this morning, Foot Locker. They missed earnings, 45 cents versus 47. Revenue came in line, 1.45 billion versus 1.45 billion. Again, this one gets a pop too. It's funny, these earnings reports are sometimes hard to interpret. Market gets caught leaning one way, can actually go the other way even when they miss. Stock did pop up. It is giving back those gains here, a lot of them now. It's only trading up 30 cents and it was trading up almost a buck earlier on. So Foot Locker showing a little bit of strength despite the weak report.
All right, just trading up here above the close, which was 34.01, is opening into resistance. Yesterday's high at 34.42. So after the big tankage down to 33.73, I bet you some people are glad to see it back up here at 34.30, 34.42. So I expect that to be good resistance. Above that, the two-day high at 34.94. It looks like someone's ganging up around that $35 level.
And they're ganging up at that $34 level to support this stock. I know we took it out there yesterday, but if you look back in June, we had multiple lows at 34. We actually had a low back on August the 9th at 34.06, and then a couple days before we were bottoming in the whole 34 area. So there's still some pretty good support at 34 despite that area getting taken out. So I like the 34. If it obviously takes it out and takes out yesterday's low, then I probably don't like it as much. But as long as that 34 can hold, maybe the stock can have a chance to rally up. Looking at upgrades, downgrades here, we've got a couple I just wanted to highlight. Dick's Sporting Goods DKS getting downgraded by Oppenheimer here. It hasn't traded this morning yet, but it is offered down at 46.23, so it looks like it is going to open lower on this downgrade. Obviously, the bad report that Dick's had there 3 or 4 days ago when it gapped down from 50, it's kind of just been hanging out at the lows here, so I wonder if it takes out the low from yesterday, if it gets some momentum going again to the downside. Oppenheimer obviously doesn't like the stock.
Nice formation if you like to whack stuff going through triple bottoms here, 46.19 to 31. That's your setup. Trading up a little bit in the pre-market, still looked at as that area as support. If it takes it out as a result here, the downgrade, you do have another low in the market to look at going back in April at 45.44. And the number after that, nice round number of 45 even, should act as good support.
Let's move on here to stocks that are breaking out this morning. And VMW, which is VMware, is breaking out actually with an upgrade from Jefferies. Stock is trading up to a new high here on the move. 87.55 is where it just ticked, taking out the high that it just set about 6 trading sessions ago up at 86.69. Going out to the weeklies here, we were back in this area back in early 23rd or early this year when we had a big gap down day, but it's starting to get into a little vacuum area here and starting to look pretty good on the charts. It's had a pretty good month. It's traded down at $65 beginning of July. Now this thing's 87, so VMware has been on a tear.
Yeah, up $2 here, just trading at the high of the pre-market session. You just get into these vacuum area, Dennis, and even I can't find a resistance point in it. So let the VMware run here. Got this whole area to deal with, going up to like when it fell off a cliff from 100. But just try and keep an eye on like the average daily range or something in that if you're looking, if you're day trading it and looking for some targets.
And breaking out also Tesla stock that just seems to just have the best relative strength of any of them out there, continues to outperform the market. We are approaching a new all-time high here, and we're not quite there yet. We got up to 158.88 on August the 8th. We are trading at 157 here right now. We were trading higher in the pre-market just a few minutes ago. We're not trading as high now. We're trading flat on Tesla, but it was a big day for Tesla there yesterday. Stock started marching and just kept marching, ended up almost up $10. So we'll have to see if Tesla can take out that and make that new all-time high here today.
Yeah, it actually got up to 158.60 in the pre-market,
Just missed it.
158.88. Yeah, the all-time high. Not a lot of volume traded up there, so perhaps you have someone targeting, that 156.80 to 159 even level as resistance. After that, who knows with this issue.
Let's go to Apple here. Icon, interesting enough, during the outage when Apple was halted, he tweeted out more stuff. He's tweeting about meeting, obviously, with the company and with the executives and saying that they're going to be doing some type of buyback for sure, and he says it's going to be big. And that it's funny, he gives these tweets and he tweets when it's halted, and then obviously trying to press the stock up for a bigger open when it reopened at 325, and it did get a little bit of lift off the Icon tweet. Closed out, it was trading below 500 when he tweeted that, and it did pop up to close fairly strong at 503.01. What do you think here? Did you catch a few people shorting through 500 maybe, and maybe this thing can reverse and start to rally?
Yeah, the after making that 513.74 high here, you've had 3 lower highs. So we'll keep an eye on that. Kind of a little bit of resistance forming. Still looking at 513.74 as a major resistance. Major support you hit for 498.20 yesterday, and going back on August 16th, you had 498.86. So keep an eye on that as major support.
Looking at a couple stocks here in the Big Ten, Procter and Gamble has been kicking around up here, and interesting enough, it's had some pretty wild ranges, but it keeps topping out right around the same price. If we look at the highs from the last 4 days, 80.09 was the high on the 19th, 80.10 was the high on the 20th, 80.12 the high on the 21st, and 80.05 the high on the 22nd. I mean, how do you get 4 highs closer than that there, Joel?
Right. Looking at that as one of the potential breakout stocks. We talked about the top components being up at major resistance, and there you go. Procter and Gamble's one of them.
Yeah, it's sitting right there, just perched, and maybe you can make the 5th high in the same area. I don't know. I guess you just keep playing that resistance area until it doesn't work anymore. Eventually, you think if it keeps bumping up there enough, eventually it may take it out. But resistance is resistance until it is broken out. Looking at a couple other ones, General Electric, you were saying about a potential double top in that one there at the 2380 area. Closed fairly strong. You think it can take it out today?
Just kind of being lazy here. It's trading right there. So, look at the closes right up there, too. So take a look at it, give it a nickel or a dime or so. And, I think it all has to do with, the S&P's getting through that 1658 level.
Going back to the S&Ps just before we end the show here, we are up $1.50 here. We've tried to bump up that 1658 level. Looking at all these top components here too, they're all touching up here. It looks like it's just winding up. I feel like we're going to pop here today. I don't know why I'm feeling that. It's just one of those feelings that you get. And maybe I'm wrong here, and I know you were bullish here too, but What do you think? I think that 1658. I think we take that out. I think it opens up.
Yeah, I'd like to see it open up and take there. You always have that, that pause afterwards where it, goes up and then, pulls back. But, if it can hold it, especially like within that first 15-minute trading, get above 1658 and hold it, I think we could have a pretty good day in the market.
Well, that's our show for today. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We'll work on it, get it ready for you, and we'll be back at you on Monday. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you Monday.